Hey, me, Makari. You join Discord and Twitch. Hey, thanks, bye. If you are older than the average Redditor, you are likely to remember a name in the YouTube sphere known as Boogie2988. This fella was one of the most OG YouTubers, making content way back in the day when most of you were nothing but a speck in your father's eye. He was a very well-known YouTuber. He would make sort of your gaming content, your reactionary content.
Fuck this game! Fuck you!
Suffice to say, he popped off at one point, sporting well over 2 million subscribers. But as is the way with a lot of the OG content creators, eventually he kind of fell off. He was still making content, but nowhere near to the level of relevancy that he used to. And for a long time, that's just how it stuck. Up until recently, where, for all the wrong reasons, he's gotten back into the main spotlight, with recently getting a documentary made about himself, showing off his slightly cringy way of living and whatever, and that's not so bad, other than the fact that he's dating someone half his age, but hey, we're not all about that Alabama life here. We're here to talk about the juicy, juicy drama. To say that Boogie has taken on the mindset of any attention is good attention to try and claw onto any level of relevancy would be an understatement. Most recently, he's been seen having started his own little crypto scam, scamming his fans and audience members out of a substantial amount of money and then tanking the entire crypto fund. But that's not what we're here about today, because there's lying. There's lying about internet shenanigans, like your NFTs, your cryptos. You know, that's all very hyperbolically amusing, and it's bad. Don't get me wrong. But then there's the level of bad that Boogie has now been accused of. For context, in the past, Boogie has made it very apparent that he has medical problems. I mean, if you look at the guy, you can't exactly question why. The guy's kind of fat, he's a bit obese, he's obviously going to have some kind of medical problems. But as it turns out, it seems to have come to light recently that our boy Boogie might not have been being the most honest of people. Gosh, someone on the internet who's known for embiggening the truth and lying has been lying again. Whether this is true or not, I'm going to leave my own personal investment into this as more of a speculative thing. Whether he's lying or not, there's some things you just don't lie about, and the big old C word is certainly one of them. Trust Boogie to lie about something of that nature. In any case, we're going to see what this is all about. So, okay, I want to put this out there right now. This is so superficial, and I really wouldn't know. I would not normally give this kind of nonsense the time of day, but it's kind of funny when somebody who, like Boogie's stature, comes along and, you know, I said it earlier, when you get a YouTuber apology about shit they've done, it's usually quite self-interested. But there's just some things you don't lie about. Like, it's like those YouTubers who fake their death. Or fake having, like, this is he's literally gone the like chaotic evil arc for the sake of his own clout. And, you know, like the NFT, the crypto thing, get your bank, I guess. You're cashing it in at that point. But I don't know, like if he has lied about his cancer, that to me is that's a step too far. Even in terms of like internet drama bullshit.
It is very low.
And the thing is, having seen some of this other stuff that Boogie's had recently, I can predict what's gonna happen already. Boogie is gonna lie, because liars lie. Boogie is a chronic liar. Everything I've ever seen from the stuff that he's been accused of recently with the NFT stuff, how the documentary presented him, the dude is immensely a narcissistic self. Like, his only interest is himself. And he will climb on other people to make sure that he is benefiting. And he has no empathy or sympathy for anything else other than that fact. And when a liar lies, of course they're going to keep on lying. So I want to see how this goes. But whether this ends up being true or not, I could see Boogie lying about having cancer for the sake of his own narcissistic ego.
So I think it is secondary polycythemia.
He would be. He is that kind of person that would.
Why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera?
I'm pretty sure they talked about this in his little
bone marrow biopsy
documentary as well.
To confirm it.
Well, if he ordered a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it, it would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmarrow if it has
the markers are in my blood. The hormone markers are in my blood.
Correct. Destiny. But you said that you'd received the diagnosis, but now you just told me that you got a bone marrow biopsy.
I wish I had tea to go with my coffee, because it would have been appropriate.
Yeah, just sucks to me. So I feel like this is a bit of a roundaboutism. And I'm not like, there's two things here. One, if you look up the textbook definition of guilty, a picture of Boogie's face, because that is a person who looks like he's cooking. That is a person who looks like is like, I don't do nothing. Like every clinical depiction of guilt, blinking, sweating, overly exaggerated movements. The dude knows he's in the shit, but at the same time, if you have a serious illness, it would be as simple as just like showing the receipts, right? So the fact that he's trying to defend himself.
If you literally had nothing to hide, I get it. At the same time, medical records and stuff are nobody else's business but your own. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing it, obviously don't feel obligated. But in a situation like this, where it is such a high-profile thing,
I feel like that's the
why
argument
wouldn't
he's
you
lean
have
on.
it on hand?
I feel
especially
like that's the
when
argument.
Especially when you're him and you need goodwill from your community.
Exactly.
Right? Having receipts is important.
I don't know. I feel like this whole reaction could have just been like 5 minutes long. I mean, you know, it's not gonna be because obviously the video still has 20 minutes worth of nonsense. But if this would have been a very simple video if he just held it up and said, "Yeah, dude, here's the evidence. Here's the fact that he's gonna probably sit there and like vindicate himself to try and say why he shouldn't show the evidence. I don't know. That to me is just because and again, if it was just like this one thing, you could probably give him the benefit of the doubt why he wants his privacy, why he's defending himself as to why he doesn't have to show anything. But the fact that everything else prior to this happened with the crypto stuff, you know, he's kind of been proven to be a very suspicious kind of liar to begin with. So I think that's what got people up in arms, I guess. And again, I fully appreciate when people want their privacy. But I think in this situation, if you're in this position where you have this kind of accusation, it's more so in your best interest to satiate and placate the people who are accusing you. Like you sacrifice that little bit of privacy to get these kind of dickheads off your back. Because nobody should be witch hunting.
Are already in my blood.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think what happened is Boogie, based on everything.
Biopsy because I'm wanting to do that because I'm praying to God I don't fucking have cancer.
He doesn't care.
I'm praying to God I'm taking the one
None of these people believe him.
chance that they're fucking wrong and that there's another reason that I have the hormone fucking imbalance in my blood.
Yeah. Why are you praying to God 2 years after you said that you have cancer?
Okay, so they're asking him to show the receipts.
Because 2 years ago. They told me I have polycythemia vera based on the fact that I had increased red blood cell counts, increased hemoglobin, and the hormone markers in my blood. And it all spelled pretty definitively that I have this. And so he wanted to get a bone marrow biopsy, so they decided to forego it. I would like to still get it done because I am hopeful, I am praying that there's a fucking merciful God.
Is that Wings of Redemption?
That would be willing to fucking let this be
Is that
wrong,
that guy?
even though it most certainly
I was trying to work out who these two were.
Why are you talking about expensive cancer treatments if they don't even know if you have cancer? That nothing has been confirmed yet. It's been 2 years.
They're treating it, dipshit.
They're not.
Because
How are
they've
they
been treating it for 2 fucking years.
How are they treating it, Boogie?
Blood test, blood thinners, bloodletting.
That's not
bloodletting.
how you know.
They're trying to get my weight down.
That's not. No. Wait, no. What? But that's not that's like preventative stuff, right? That's how you like.
No, that's identification.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. Sorry, I had to like think on that for a second.
We're doing it.
Yep.
So they don't know if you have
know?
cancer or not. So can I understand
That just sounds like you're trying to keep him healthy.
I can explain. So I can explain everything, right? So Boogie has a condition called polycythemia, which means there's an elevation in his.
Polycythemia vera.
No.
Polycythemia vera.
Oh yeah, gotta make sure you get the vera in there. Okay, so what Boogie is doing in like the the sort of psyche kind of like positioning he's putting himself in, he's trying to maintain some level of control by correcting destiny to be like, no, it's Vera. Remember, it's Vera. He's trying to assert some kind of control to keep himself, like, so that he can try and maintain his, like, his in his way of trying to keep dominance in the conversation, he wants to try and put across his innocence by saying that he knows the facts and that he's wrong. By kind of like not slandering, but like by downtreading what Destiny is saying, he's trying to assert that he knows better. It's such a
basically.
He knows more about my fucking medical diagnosis than I do. Go right the fuck ahead. I was in the fucking room. My girlfriend was in the fucking room.
Biopsies and tissue samples and stuff to even test for it. So if they haven't done that yet, then he's full of crap.
Okay, yeah, I will go ahead. Okay, so I think that Boogie was told that
like
he
even
has
at this point, I would
which
be
means he has an
willing to say that he's
elevation
90%
of his
probably
red
not got
blood
cancer,
cells.
just by what I've seen
Now,
already.
There is a cancer known as Polycythemia vera, which is caused by a mutation in some part of your body that causes an elevation of 3 different levels of things that you'll find. One of those is the red blood cell count. However, when Boogie was talking about the polycythemia, he mentioned a couple things that I thought were interesting. The first was that taking an exogenous hormone, TRT, testosterone, that caused a increase in him developing this condition. So taking testosterone will not cause
Destiny's
you to
pretty
develop
fucking
a
smart.
cancer. That doesn't not for this.
This is what
particular
happens
cancer,
when you
it
get
won't.
people who
It
actually
will
know their
cause
shit
you to
confronting
develop
you.
Secondary polycythemia. The second thing that he mentioned was that
The last thing a liar ever wants, people with knowledge confronting them. Because the thing a liar will do a lot of the time is assert themselves to be the knowledgeable one. And they will always try and posit themselves in a way that makes themselves seem like they know all the facts and just prey on other people's ignorance of not knowing. Which completely which works up until you're actually met with somebody who knows their shit. Which Destiny, for as controversial as it is, the dude is legitimately immensely smart.
that his doctor ordered a sleep study. That's because one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells is if you have hypoxemia, which is a lower count of, or a low amount of oxygen in your blood for an extended period of time. And the reason why he ordered that sleep study is probably because Boogie either has pulmonary obstructive something, or he has, as he mentioned, sleep apnea. And sleep apnea, which is a decrease in oxygen overnight.
You notice how, like, every time Destiny opens his mouth, everyone's like listening intently. The second Boogie opens his mouth, everyone starts laughing.
All of the things that Boogie described, both the things that cause this and the treatments for it, are consistent with secondary polycythemia. None of these are consistent with cancer, and the fact that he's saying that they've now ordered a biopsy 2 years after. Wait, 2 years after. Let me just finish real quick. Let me finish real quick.
Oh, Boogie's sweating.
2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer.
Confirmation.
Is this House MD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
Because it was in my blood markers, and that's pretty goddamn definitive. You can Google that, Destiny.
I'm pretty sure that if you've had any sort of, like, assessment, any kind of, like, medical... I am not a doctor by any means, so by all means correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure if you've had any sort of, like, process for even questioning if you... Like, for crying out loud. So, I recently went into the doctors to get my head looked at because I suffer from migraines. And the second I said that, the concept of tumors and cancer came up. And the second that came up, the first thing they wanted to do was to verify. And that was something that was done within the first week of starting the process. And I don't know, I feel like it shouldn't be that convoluted to have known you either have it or you don't. And trying to worm around it just feels weird. Like, if anything, that should have been the sign from the word. Yeah, like, you either have a definitive or you don't. Like, it's very... Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know enough about this kind of medical jargon to kind of understand it fully. But I feel like at this stage, you would either have a yes or a no. Like, it's not as... it wouldn't be as ambiguous, right? Yeah.
When you have the hormones, when you have the hormone in the blood that is produced by this cancer, it's pretty goddamn definitive. It doesn't show up for just the shit sakes of it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Boogie, you want to keep saying you're the patient, you know what your body has.
Yes.
But when I go to the doctor, they give me shit like this, which is like papers.
Because I was going to say, Boogie can end this whole thing.
Exactly.
Show me a single
Yes,
document with
that's what I was saying a second ago.
on it. You don't have one. I don't think the doctor ever diagnosed you with it.
Can I ask you something, Destiny? Is it possible that when the doctor was seeing him
they were asking you could have polycythemia, if I'm saying it correctly.
I'm
or
pretty sure Boogie has a lot of medical
but
problems.
You don't have the cancer version.
I'm pretty sure he
you
does.
have
I
the
mean,
version.
probably.
Correct.
There
So
is own
polycythemia.
I'm asking him. Is it could be like a lost in translation type situation?
I love it. They're trying to give Boogie an out. They're trying to give Boogie an opportunity to be like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not. Maybe. I mean, it probably is, but maybe. They're giving Boogie every chance to be honest and to give himself an out. And I respect that, but it's like, the more he opens his mouth, the harder it is for me to believe
just
it.
means you have an elevation of red blood cells. That's all it means. Your red blood cell count is high. And
So
I think
you can just be fat and sleep apnea can create
sleep
that.
apnea could do it. Yeah, anything. Yeah, like that could cause it. And the fact that Boogie said, we knew that when I was taking TRT, this was a risk of that. That means that risk is to develop secondary polycythemia. That was the risk, and then that is what ended up happening, unfortunately. But it's not cancer. That was induced because of just a low oxygenation of the blood.
So why? Explain to me, Destiny, why there are markers, hormone markers in my blood that have tested positively for polycythemia vera.
If there was, then he wouldn't
Just
have.
look at one of your medical papers, dude.
Yeah,
I'm never showing any of these motherfuckers my medical.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself.
I have
I
it.
said that 2 years ago.
Yes. Like I know he's like leaning on the they want him to just show something that says he has it, right? And I get that privacy is important, and in any other situation I'd be much more in line with saying that this is a witch hunt and that your privacy is your privacy. The trouble is, this is Boogie, and the dude's kind of become very contentious recently, so I'm less likely to be lenient on that in my mind. But yes, what were we saying here?
It feels so. All of this in general just feels super prefabricated, like
Do you think?
designed to stir up outrage and make.
I think
and literally
that's an
just
interesting
because
conversation.
any number is a good number.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Well, Boogie's kind of been the preface of that. Like, Boogie's entire thing recently has been trying to do as much controversial shit to try and get some relevancy. Like, the entire thing of him getting his... If you ever get the chance, go because we watched it a while back, go and watch the documentary that came out last year about Boogie's life. And you will see very quickly that Boogie, at this point in his career, will do anything for clout. It was the same thing that he did with dating a really young person. It was the same thing with his cryptocurrency scam. He is basically the fatter version of Logan Paul. And it's kind of sad considering what he used to be like.
Isn't he, speaking of Logan Paul, isn't he suing Coffee right now?
Logan Paul or Boogie?
Logan Paul.
I don't know. I don't generally keep up with those, but
I think I saw that on Dexardo. He's suing Coffeezilla.
Oh yeah.
Over his documentary.
Yeah, no, he is. Like, I don't know. This you know what this reeks of? This is such a hyperbolic, nonsensical bit of crap. It is so internet pilled that the only people who would really care are those who are terminally online. I like this because it's funny to watch the nonsense and the story play out. Because Boogie's been a character to watch the descent into literal madness. But also in hindsight, this also makes immensely good clicks for YouTube as well. Hee
Go, and I'm staying by it now. Destiny, Jackson Clark, Keemstar, you can see it when I fucking die. It's my fucking goddamn medical record. I've given you every goddamn phone call. I've given you every fucking text. I've given you, it's never made a single goddamn thing better. I'm not gonna fucking do it. Go fuck yourselves.
You could easily end this right now by just showing
I would rather you
motherfuckers.
motherfuckers continue to.
The reason why I find this argument to be a little bit weird as well, if this was anyone else who wasn't a content creator, it would be understandable why you want your privacy. But the fact that Boogie has, in the past, done everything to expose himself in many different ways, putting his entire existence into the fact that he made his medical issues such a prevalent thing in his entire life. Like, every other video he puts out is basically about his medical conditions. He's all willing to hope that people are sympathetic and give him money to help him with his medical problems, but he's not willing to he wants all of the sympathy with none of the backing to back it up. Like, if you were willing to put this out publicly as much as you are, then theoretically, logically, you'd be willing to prove it. And what Tia said a second ago could be very valid. Maybe, I don't think that this is anything to do with Destiny or the other guys in this. I think Boogie does just legitimately want to get attention any way possible. And this is his opportunity. And he's, like, he might be getting cooked, absolutely, but this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted to get on a big YouTuber's stream, some big streamer's streams, to get the big eyes on him. Because I guarantee you, I freaking guarantee you that he's put out a video in the last day or two.
Almost assuredly, yeah. New layer.
I'll be like, fleeing the country. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, no, Boogie's riding this like a fucking roller coaster.
The LARP. I would rather you motherfuckers continue.
Okay, well, no, here's an easy question.
Goddamn thing. The last goddamn thing.
This reminds me of Nick Ocado. At least Nick Ocado is funny.
So the easy thing here is, if there are blood markers that definitively confirm polycythemia vera as a blood cancer, then why are they doing a biopsy?
I'm insisting on it because I'm hoping the microphone.
No, wait. Why would you have to?
Oh God. I have nothing to say. There's absolutely nothing to say.
With blood markers, it's because you can't.
Because I'm hoping that I are wrong.
If you're hoping they're wrong, then why 2 years ago were you talking about fighting cancer? Why would you be talking about, like,
I have been for 2 years.
Fighting cancer? How? With what? With blood thinners?
Oh, this one's for you, Boogie.
Because oh God damn it! Because you treat
yikes!
almost identically to the way that you treat.
He's cooked. He's cooked. You can't let him cook anymore. He'll burn.
All you do is treat the symptoms, and the symptoms are identical
Boom.
to polycythemia.
Roasted.
Because
Anyway.
it's the same fucking thing, with the exception of one's getting caused by an external source, and the other's being caused by
Dude's
fucking
so
cancer.
roasted. He's going to
In this
start
case,
up a
it's getting caused
freaking
by
cooking
fucking
YouTube channel at this
cancer.
point.
So I do think there are different treatments available for polycythemia vera, and I think that the outcomes for that are significantly worse than just having it induced.
So I would have stopped this recording by now. If it wasn't, like, if this was just Destiny in this slot, like, egging him and, like, just beating him up and bullying, I don't like that. I hate that. But the thing is, they are offering him, they are legitimately giving Boogie opportunities to talk about it. Like, they're not just hounding him, they are legitimately giving him outs. They're saying, hey, maybe you misinterpreted it. Maybe it's not as bad as you thought. Is there a reason? Please explain. Oh boy.
By some other thing like sleep apnea or hypoxia. But I mean, if you wanted to,
the treatment plan is pretty identical.
Yeah,
the treatment plan is pretty identical.
So if there are two
So
things. So one,
cringy.
It is.
party and they could
I
confirm
can't.
like Keemstar.
I can't with
but
these
two,
people.
the issue
It's
is that
so
if you want to keep your
bad,
medical issues to
man.
yourself, I think
Well,
everybody is entitled to that right.
It'd probably help you to know that there's only 5 minutes left of this.
I should have never talked about it to begin with.
That's good, because my internal monologue is just
Stop. Hold on.
over it.
GoFundMe was because they verify, for the record. They verify.
They verify?
So
that would be the third party that I would.
yeah,
I don't know. Like, this is.
verification.
I would like to use this as an example as to why I don't generally immerse myself in drama, because it's so petty more often than not. Like, it's never going to benefit us. It's never going to give us anything constructive in our lives, other than for the fact that we know that we're never going to be as bad as these people, or as bad as this kind of a situation.
Multiple times in the past.
True.
But the
It is.
issue
It's
that
like
you
watching
say
somebody
that
dig their own
wouldn't
grave.
You shouldn't have talked about it, but the fact is that you did. You did the day that you got the.
I do think, though, that people should be held accountable. I just think there's probably a better way of doing it.
I sat on it for a while.
Wait, on your tweet, did
I
you
mean,
not say
literally
that I
sitting
got
there
my
with-
diagnosis today
I
and then
don't know.
talk about it?
It's just messy.
They told
It
me-
is.
And it's intentionally messy.
They told me in the office that they were worried about it.
Well, Keemstar's here. What did you honestly expect?
I mean, you
Then
got
they
me
did
there.
The blood tests. Then yes, I did tweet about it on the day that I got
No,
confirmation.
stabilization.
But I sat on it for a couple of months before, or for a couple of weeks before talking about it, because it took a while for us to get the blood results.
So you sat on it when you didn't know the answer? That's not called sitting on it. That's just called waiting for an
You know,
answer.
to us, this looks like.
Also, if you were
It's kind of a funny thing. To us, this looks like, you know, big name people that a lot of us probably know or have seen at some point kind of arguing. The thing is, to the rest of the internet, it's nerds and nerds. And anyone in the real world, they're looking at this going, oh my god, the nerds are doing it again. They're doing it again. Marjorie, the nerds are fighting. Should I get the spray bottle? It's like watching two very angry cocker spaniels argue over a bone.
so keen on diagnosing whether you had
I don't know
cancer
if
or
you've
not,
ever followed-
why
I don't know
would
if
you
you've
Files
ever
that
followed-
analogy
If
for
I
later.
actually followed my Twitter, but I tend to
The
tweet shit
clout
as it
bone.
happens. This one I decided to stay on
Real-time
for.
news, motherfucker.
I don't understand why you're waiting. I don't understand why you wait 2 years.
cancer
Yeah,
Because cancer's
It's
pretty
not-
fucking serious.
There is no cancer.
Because cancer's pretty fucking
It's secondary
serious.
polycythemia. There is no cancer here. There's no proof of it. You can't show anybody proof of it because it's not real. And yeah, I don't
I
know.
can
As
show
somebody
it.
that
I can
like
definitely
his
show it.
mom had cancer, it's just a little bit gross. I feel like when people are talking publicly about fighting cancer
Who
and
is
stuff.
the person that faked cancer before, the chick? You know who I'm talking about.
yeah, only had cancer once. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a vintage
remember.
meme.
Yeah, that's
That's a
classic.
vintage.
Wasn't it
there's-
Emily
There is
from
there
Red
is
Scares?
that
so
that
many
right there
people
is probably
that
the
don't know
worst
that
part
meme
of it.
right
Like
now.
Can I ask
things
Boogie,
things to like fake and like do that are incredulous like that, like doing a crypto scam, you know, on the spectrum of shit. A crypto scam is bad. You're making money, but it's really bad and predatory. Faking cancer is like, I don't know how much of a human being you are when you stoop to that level of bullshit. I don't
It
know.
is
There's just something
very
because
icky.
it is, because then it sullies people who actually are suffering. Whether he has it or not, this whole thing just reeks of ickiness at this point.
Yeah.
the gun.
Like I say.
on,
All right, let's look. We got this far. Let's
releasing
finish it
your-
out. I want to see. I
diagnosis
want to
thing?
see how this resolves itself.
No.
You don't think you jumped the gun a little bit?
Anything is possible, sure.
I just don't understand why you won't just go grab a piece of paper and just disprove them. Like,
Because I
you
don't have
all these
printouts
feelings.
He has nothing with those words on it.
Number two, and like I said a year ago,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers tried to get it to
Hold
begin
on,
with.
hold on.
This is the one last
this is
thing
a
I have
shitty
left.
excuse,
You
but this
motherfuckers
is
were in my marriage. You guys were in everything else. You're in every aspect of my life.
You
I-
motherfuckers ruined my marriage.
I'm
yeah, 'cause
sorry.
it's them who ruined.
As somebody who knows
I-
the situation slightly, Boogie is a chronic liar. I said this at the beginning. Boogie is a chronic liar. The guy lies, and liars will keep lying. But there's that severity of, you would hope that there would be some honesty about something as serious. Like, there are some things you just don't lie about. And if you're willing to lie about this kind of thing, and you're getting proven on it, then, you know, at that point, like, the notion of any attention being good attention doesn't really hold true, because that just doesn't work. Like, there is such a thing as bad attention. Yeah, your numbers might go up, but if the attention you're getting is just people hating on you, then you're not going to have a good like, the actual experience of that attention will be so bad that you can never like sort of relate it into something that's actually going to benefit you. Like, yeah, awesome. I'm sure, like, I am sure.
America, the land of...
Wrong button. I am absolutely sure that if you go to any of Boogie's recent videos, the comments are nothing but people slating him. And sure, that ups his metrics. But the problem with self-deprecating drama for attention is that it's very much a flash in the pan. You'll get that attention initially, but then you'll need to do something even more elaborately bad to get more attention later, and eventually it's a cascading effect that once people have gotten bored of that current situation, there's literally no other way to get... They're not going to stick around. They'll be there for the moment of, oh wow, this drama currently is bad. But now that drama's old news, they'll just go to the next thing. But the way attention works is it needs to be there for your personality. They're there for the situational drama of him lying, not because of him.
Okay, hold on. Counter argument. Politics.
Okay,
You know I'm
okay.
right.
Okay, but let's face it. People aren't watching politics at the moment because of the politics. They're watching it for the car crash in motion. Like, it's a car crash is a horrifying thing to watch, but it's still entertaining for the blip of a moment that it's there. Like watching the British elections recently. Nobody in England really gives a shit about the politics, but for the time that it's active, it's like, ooh, that's pretty. It's really terrible to watch, but it's pretty.
Let me have one goddamn.
What you're trying to tell me?
Tomorrow.
That's everybody.
Lead. Boogie lies about cancer than to hand this shit over to you pieces of shit. That's
How about
just.
this?
I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that. Go ahead, print it, Dexerto. Go ahead and print it.
Can you get your patient portal up on your phone and like send it to Tommy?
And I'm not going to.
He's never doing that. He
We're
does
not-
not have a cancer diagnosis.
We're
There
not-
is
we're
0%
not
chance
going
that
to
he
do
has one. Every leading
Keemstar.
thing for this cancer diagnosis the doctor talked
Of course,
about.
Keemstar would jump in the second he heard about this. It wouldn't be drama without Keemstar jumping in on it. God damn.
Has to do with secondary polycythemia. The sleep apnea was a contributor.
Get the
to that, and
Smash
TRT
Brothers
was a contributor to that.
sound of Keemstar entering the
hormone
battle.
markers in my blood, except we're
Yeah,
we're
but if you had
conveniently
hormone
wrong.
markers for it, that's either a definitive diagnosis, in which case you wouldn't be getting a biopsy 2 years later, or it wasn't definitive, and you would have gotten a biopsy 2 years later instead of saying they're treating you for cancer for 2 years. You just said before that you don't have the money for extra medical stuff. If they don't need that test to confirm cancer,
Well,
why would you spend extra money on a biopsy they don't need?
I don't know if you heard of this, Destiny. I just got a bit of a windfall.
Ooh, you little shitbag. You little shitbag.
Did he actually just?
Bringing up his crypto scam? Oh, the shamelessness.
Yeah, you may have
Might
heard
have
of it.
We have,
What's
yes,
that? Was it
he did
windfall?
a $10,000 crypto scam, using partly his cancer thing as an excuse for why he needed to scam his fans.
I just wanted I want to join real
$10,000?
quick
That seems
because
like-
you just got caught lying to about me
Sure,
to
go
Coffee
ahead.
Seems like a lot of
Sure, go
effort
ahead.
to go.
Now
I
you're
told
being
Coffee
confronted,
exactly that. I
and
told
now
Coffee
you're being
exactly what I told
confronted on one of the biggest lies
agree
on
with Boogie.
internet
I don't-
history.
I don't
I can't
consider
think of
it
it.
seriously.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Keemstar. I actually hate the fact that I'm agreeing with Keemstar. But he's not wrong. You know when you actually resonate more with something Keemstar says, it's a fucked situation. Elia, thank you for the raid.
Prove it? No. You won't
No.
prove
This is
it?
comedy.
I'd
This is
rather you go
actually
ahead
comedy
and
to
print
watch
it.
at this
This
point.
is true.
Go ahead.
It
Like,
is
it's like
true,
a
and you
Cartoon
won't
Network
prove
of
it.
the stage.
It's the biggest scandal on the
And
internet.
it's not,
You
but
get
go
it
ahead
in
and print it
your
anyway.
Biggest scandal.
Go ahead and
Prove
print it
it.
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much
Prove
prove
it.
none of you motherfuckers. I
Fucking
said this
prove
2
it.
years ago, and I'm not doing it today.
Keemstar
ahead,
came
print it.
in,
Print
dropped
it the
the
way it is.
fucking mic.
Go right ahead.
Run it.
I'm okay,
Okay,
with that.
so I guess just to wrap up, because we don't want to take all you guys' time tonight.
Very
so just as
busy
a couple
people.
things, right? So the story as laid out.
Yes.
If you look
And they
up
did this
secondary
live as a
polycythemia,
Yeah.
podcast?
Polycythemia vera,
Oh,
all of the
fuck,
leading
dude.
things that Boogie talks about leading to his
Just-
condition are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not the mutation that would cause polycythemia
You know what would
vera.
solve this? If somebody offered Boogie money. If the
Oh,
dude's life
1000%.
is entirely contrived by money, offer him money. Say, hey, dude, if you want like 20 grand to show it, I like these guys. Like, I am so certain that you are bullshitting. That we could offer you money and you still wouldn't show it. If that's what it takes to get you to
Apparently
prove
they-
your innocence,
The things that Boogie
Get
says
someone
that
off
his doctor
80K,
wants him to check
possibly.
for afterwards, like doing a sleep study, are consistent with secondary polycythemia.
'cause that's all he
not
cares about.
primary
If that's what he cares about, that's the only language he knows.
Says-
Pay him.
The fact that he says that he had the blood markers or something
At least
to
that way we'll
confirm
have
it 2
a
years
fucking
ago,
resolution to
but
this.
is now
Jesus.
getting a biopsy for
Like, I
secondary
wonder how
confirmation,
much
even
money it would take for him to be honest, to just say, yeah, dude, I don't have it. Yeah, no, cancer fucking lied about the whole thing.
though he says he doesn't have the money for medical bills, but I guess now that he does have money, he's going to waste all of it on biopsying things that are already confirmed, or at least confirmed enough that he wanted to talk about it publicly for 2 years ago, and then use it to fundraise the money that he now has so that he can do the biopsy that I don't
What
even
do
think
they
he's doing, by
fundraise?
the way. I don't
What
think
do
he's
they
actually doing that
fundraise? What do
biopsy.
they
I think that's a lie as well.
What do they
And
fundraise?
if he wants to do
Ooh.
this, if you wanted to disprove it, all he has to do is show a private party this
Well,
particular
let
medical
me-
thing, and yeah, and it would be.
And I never
That's
will.
also fraud.
Just
That's
my
just
medical
fraud.
records.
To
Listen.
summarize, Jesse, you're basically saying he's kind of unlucky he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, for this particular case, yeah. I mean, if he wants, here, I'll do this. If Boogie can confirm,
Ew.
if Boogie can confirm that he has polycythemia vera,
Wait.
and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his
Yeah,
medical
there you
treatment.
go.
I'll make that personal pledge right now.
You know, if
I mean,
he's-
own it.
yeah, I fucking quote it. If he comes out with a friggin' note in the next week or two, I'll put an extra $5,000 in there. Fuck it, because clearly he'll need it. God damn.
Get
Hey, you need
10,000.
money.
You're
You
not
get-
seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical records.
Of course not.
grand.
Of course not. Because he doesn't have
I'm
them.
looking at you leak your own medical history, but you won't leak
Just
the
remember,
confirmation.
okay, so then I just want people to remember in the future then,
Year
when
from
Boogie
now.
says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said that he has. Doesn't make any sense, but
Cook.
okay.
Even I have a fucking limit. Even I have
Shouting
a
with the
No.
background. Cook.
Though.
God damn, this is such a scuff. Someone who's clearly proven that they're willing to sell everything about themselves for the sake of money isn't willing to take money to prove something that will give them money. Like, I'm sorry, if that isn't if that isn't like the marker in the book to say that he is lying, like at this point, is he actually lying? I am 99% sure to say yes. There's still like a 1% chance that he actually has it, but I'm sorry, there's some nonsense here.
Yeah, it's a whole fucking thing.
All right, I think it's wrapping up. I hope one of them just like I hope he just ends the call.
People, I guess, scamming people with cancer, and it's like the worst of the worst. And you're getting confronted with that right now, when your response to that is nuh-uh.
Go ahead.
I'm not going ahead. I'm just. I'm not explaining to you.
He's such a child.
I don't care.
I would never make light of like cancer. I would never make a joke out of somebody's illness. But what this is more of a comedy. It's more of a case study of a shit person and making something like holding people accountable and making something kind of like making something out of someone's shit, basically.
Yeah, I would agree.
At least we're able to make something constructive out of it.
Why we're in this situation is just that
constructive. I wouldn't go that far.
Or rather,
we're definitely making something of it.
Make something that we can enjoy rather than putting up with bullshit. Because we're all gonna have a laugh at the nonsense.
2 years ago, I'd rather that than the.
There's a lot of nonsense, to be fair.
This is the last thing I have is my medical.
All right, do you care about this anymore?
If I hand this over, I've given over literally every goddamn thing.
They're already talking about going to McDonald's.
I mean,
it's funnier if we just hang up on them.
Medical records.
It's funnier if we just hang up on him now. Oh my god.
Yeah. You wouldn't have nagged him for a whole night now.
Not just the confirmation.
Because I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot, guys. Cool. We'll see you guys later.
Bye. Thanks for coming on.
Jesus Christ.
Have a pleasant evening.
Dude, I think I've lost brain cells watching that. I actually feel I feel stupider for having listened to that. In some respects, I'm glad that I got to watch it because it makes me realize that no matter how shit my life is at the moment, it's never going to be that shit. My God, and you know, at least we can all hold our hands up high and say, hey, at least we're not Boogie levels of desperate. God damn.
True.
Well, that was interesting. Tia, thoughts?
Thoughts.
I think the thought is, can we move on?